Welcome back, dear student, in the second module of Historiography Indian Tradition. As in the module 1, we all have studied about the tradition of Indian historiography, in which we have studied about historiography in ancient, medieval, and modern period. We also studied about various Indian literature, biographies, and autobiographies of various kings and their kingdoms. We also studied about various foreign scholars and their views about India, like John Marshall, Sir Alexander Cunningham, Grandolph, and many more. In this module, we are going to study Indian historiography and its ideological frameworks. As this topic ideological framework, which is further divided into two categories, that is ideological framework in pre-independence era and in post-independence era. So in the module 2, we are going to study or we are going to focus on the ideological framework in the pre-independence era, which includes colonial historiography, orientalistic historiography, nationalistic historiography. So children, let us begin the chapter. Colonial historiography. Children, what is colonial historiography? The term colonial historiography has been used in two senses. One is related to the history of colonial countries, while other refers to the work which were influenced by the colonial ideology of domination. It means it is a political, social, economic, and cultural domination of a territory or its people by a foreign power. Colonialism is an act of one nation controlling another nation for the purpose of economic gain. For example, England controlled over India for the purpose of economic gain. The practice of writing about colonial countries by the colonial officers was relative to the desire for domination and justification of colonial rule. Therefore, in most such historical works, there was a criticism of Indian society and culture. At the same time, there was praise for the Western culture and the values and glorification of the individual who established the empire in India. As in the module 1, we all have studied about various historic books written by non-Indian historians. That is a type of colonial historiography. In short, the foreign historians who travel to India to know the history of India, this is a period which is known as period of colonial historiography. As in the module 1, we have studied about Sir Alexander Cunningham and Sir John Marshall, who put forth their ideas regarding the colonial historiography. They clearly stated or put forth their true opinion about India and their lifestyle, while some other historians also mock about the Indian tradition. Mock means they made the fun of Indian culture and the traditions. For example, James Mill, he was the first British to write about the Indian history. He stated that Indian culture is of no use, and the only way to uplift the downtrodden Indians is to make them to adopt the European culture and the European law. And not only the James Mill, but also many other historians such as Mount Stuart Elphinstone, Vincent Smith, and many more who were pertinent examples of this strength. They established colonial school of historiography which denigrated the subject people which praising the imperial country. In such account, India was depicted as the stagnant society. A stagnant society, as a backward civilization and as cultural inferior, while British was practiced as a dynamic country possessing superior civilization and advance in science and technology. The earliest scholars who studied and wrote Indian history were mainly British officers and Christian missionaries. Their prejudice is clearly reflected in the way some of them have ridiculed the Indian culture. The stories and the life during the colonial time was mentioned in the book Cambridge History of India, which was written by Edward James Rapsin. In his book, he is considered as one of the major work of historical scholarship who was published in the 5 volume from year 1922 to year 1937 CE by the Cambridge University Press. In this book, in the volume 1 and volume 2, Sir E.J. Rapson mentioned about the various coins of the ancient India, and by referring to those coins which provided him the information regarding the earliest rule as well as the historical importance and also about the various Indian civilizations, which are the distinct examples of the colonial historiography. Children, let us begin with the next topic, that is Orientalistic historiography. The term Orient is derived from the Latin word oriens, means east, especially East Asia. The word Orientalistic means a person mainly from the Western country who studied the languages, culture, and history of the country of the Eastern Asia. So, as it was said before that the Europeans and the Western historians made the fun of the ancient and Eastern culture in the 18th and the 19th century, claiming that it was very backward and degenerated, means the quality of life in the Eastern and the ancient culture was declining. Then it was Sir John Edward, who was the great Orientalistic, who said that the Orient culture is much more advanced than the Western culture. Many European scholars felt curious about civilization and countries of the East. Some of those scholars felt admiration and respect for them. These scholars were known as Orientalists. The Orientalistic studied the similarities between Sanskrit and some of the European languages. They focused more on Vedic traditions and Sanskrit literature. Their study resulted into formulating the notion of an ancient languages that could be the mother of all Indo-European languages. From them, the one was Sir William Jones. Sir William Jones was an English philologist, Orientalistic, and jurist. While serving as judge of the High Court at Kolkata, he became a student of ancient India. In year 1784, he founded Ascetic Society in Kolkata. He is best known for his famous proposition that many languages sprang from a common source. His scholarship helped to generate a widespread interest in the Eastern history, languages, and culture, and it leads to the new direction in the linguistic research. Among the Orientalist scholars, Friedrich Max Müller deserves a special attention. In his opinion, Sanskrit was the most ancient language of the Indo-European languages. He was deeply interested in Sanskrit literature. Muller translated and published a collection of Indian fables called Hitopadesh. He was the editor of 50 volumes of the Sacred Book of East. He also compiled Rig Veda, which has been published in 6 volumes. He translated Rig Veda in German. Muller published the complete Rig Veda in Sanskrit using manuscript available in England, found in the collection of East India Company. He translated the Upanishad for schooling and research on Sanskrit language under Franz Bopp, who was the first scholar of Indo-European languages. He strongly believed in the need for reforms in Hinduism in order to superimpose views of Christianity on former. Muller supported Brahmo Samaj movement. He believed that Brahmo Samaj will produce an Indian form Christianity, since he was too desperate to bring Christianity into India so that the religion of Hinduism be declined or be doomed. Under his guidance, the British Empire funded a huge sum of money for the education reforms in India. Edward Said, a scholar who had re-evaluated the Orientalistic writings. He had thrown light on the imperialistic interest of Orientalistic scholars. Edward Said argued that Orientalism, in the sense of the Western scholarship about the Eastern world, is inextricably tied to the imperialistic society who produced it, which makes much Orientalistic work inherently political and servile to power. Children, let's begin with another topic, that is nationalistic historiography. Children, what do you mean by nationalistic historiography? The word nationalistic means that historical writings produced or reproduced by Indian historians which highlight the Indian history from a national point of view. The national historiography represents the national culture and the traditions. Every nation has its own culture and tradition, and every nation wants to spread it. It can only be possible through the literature. History is a part and parcel of literature. Therefore, what history is written by nation that represent its culture and traditions. This is called the nationalistic historiography. The writings of Indian historians who were trained in the British educational system shows an inclination to restore the pride in the ancient glory of India and the self-esteem of the Indian readers. Their writings were called as nationalistic historiography. Nationalistic writings in Maharashtra were inspired by Vishnu Sastri Chiplunkar. He criticized the prejudiced history of ancient India, written by British officers. The nationalistic historians tried to seek the golden era of Indian history. They are at the times blamed for ignoring the critical analysis of historical truth. Children, let us understand about the great Indian historians and their perspective about the nationalistic historiography. So the first historian that we have here, that is M.G. Ranade. The full name of M.G. Ranade is Mahadev Govind Ranade. He was a renowned Indian jurist, scholar, and a moderate social and religious reformer, as well as a great writer. He was one of the founding members of Indian National Congress. In his judicial career, he rose from the rank of presidency magistrate in year 1871 to Justice of the Bombay High Court in year 1893. He was also the member of several committees of the government and a member of Bombay Legislative Council. His social work in public service were oriented towards reforming in India under the British rule. Next historian that we have, that is Ramesh Chandra Majumdar. Ramesh Chandra Majumdar was a historian, professor of Indian history. He was former Sharif of Kolkata. Some of the famous book written by him was Ancient India in year 1977, The History and the Culture of Indian People, Main Current of Indian History in year 1918, Corporate Life in Ancient India in year 1980, and many more. Let us proceed to the third historian, that is Radha Kumud Mukherjee. Radha Kumud Mukherjee was an Indian historian and a noted Indian nationalistic during the period of British colonial rule. He was the brother of the great socialist, that is, Radha Kamal Mukherjee. Radha Kumud Mukherjee was awarded with Padma Bhushan for his great writing. Some of the famous book written by him was Ancient Indian Education in year 1947, Ashoka in the year 1962, Men and Thought in the Ancient India in the year 1924, Nationalism in Hindu Culture in year 1921. Children, let us move to the next historian, that is Bhagwan Lal Indraji. Bhagwan Lal Indraji was an Indian archaeologist and scholar. He was a member of Royal Asiatic Society, Bombay. He made transcript of several ancient Indian inscriptions, including the Hathi Gumfa inscription. V.D. Savarkar. The full name of V.D. Savarkar was Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. He was commonly known as Swatantra Veer Savarkar in Marathi languages. He was an Indian independence activist and politician who formulated the Hindu nationalist philosophy of Hindutva. He was a leading figure in the Hindu Mahasahib. Vasudev Vishnu Mirashi was a Sanskrit scholar and prominent ideologist of the 20th century who hailed from Maharashtra. He was an expert of his time on stone and copper inscriptions and the coinage of ancient India. The next historian, that is Anand Sadashiv Altekar. Anand Sadashiv Altekar was an historian, archaeologist, and numismatics from Maharashtra. He was the head of the Department of Ancient Indian History. Ramakrishna Gopal Bhandarkar. He was an Indian scholar, Orientalist, and social reformer. He was known for his Oriental studies. Kashi Prasad Jaiswal. Kashi Prasad Jaiswal was an Indian historian and a lawyer. He was one of the intellectual forces behind the Indian nationalist movement. Jaiswal works in Hindu polity and history of India in 150 AD to 350 AD. He was classic of ancient Indian historical literature. Do you know? Justice Mahadev Govind Ranade had explained the background of rise of Maratha Empire in his book The Rise of Maratha Power. According to him, it was not like a sudden erupt forest fire, but the ground for it in Maharashtra on the social, cultural and religious level was getting ready over prolonged period. This movement and the mass awakening which he created has united and strengthened the Maratha society. Historian Govind Ranade stated that the primary cause of political unrest in Maharashtra was its religious movement, and there is no doubt that different saints of Maharashtra encouraged the national feeling of the Marathas. Vishwanath Kashinath Rajwade is well known for his writings in Marathi on various subjects like history, linguistics, etymology, grammar, etc. He was of firm opinion that we should write our own history. He compiled and edited 22 volumes of मराठ्यांच्या इतिहासाचे साधने. He stated that history is the all-inclusive images of the past societies. He does not include only the stories of the political images, conspiracies, and war for seizing power. He insisted that history should be written only using the authentic documentary sources. V.K. Rajwade founded Bharat Itihas Samshodak Mandal in Pune on 7th July 1910 to facilitate historical research. It is said by V.K. Rajwade that human history is defined by time and space. Describing any event necessitates that the final portrayal should be spread on the complete canvas of the given time and the place. only if the balanced combination of the three factors, that is, time, space, and personality, is present. Then only an event does qualify to be called so. The nationalistic historiography helped in triggering of the independence movement of Indian people against the British. In this aspect, the book The Indian War of Independence 1857, written by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, is of great importance. The nationalistic historiography provided a momentum to the writing of regional histories. As a result, the attention of historians was drawn to the geographical conditions and the history of South Indian regions. Children, let us understand the important dates and events which has been discussed in the given module. In the year 1922 to year 1937 CE, 5 volumes of Cambridge History of India were published. In the year 1784 CE, Sir William Jones founded the Ascetic Society of Bengal in Kolkata. On 7th July 1910 CE, Bharat Itihas Samshodak Mandal by V.K. Rajwade was founded in Pune. In 1909 CE, the Indian War of Independence 1857 was written by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. So children, these are some important events which was occurred in the given periods. Children, let us come to the evaluation part of the given module. So the first question that we have here, that is, find the incorrect pair and write the correct one. So children, for writing the answer of this question, you have to watch the video attentively. Let us move to the next question. Give historical reasons for the following statements. First one, colonial historiography justified British rule. Second one, writing of regional history received a momentum. So children, for finding the reason for the given question, kindly watch the video and read the textbook meticulously. Children, we will meet soon in the next module. Till then, enjoy learning.